going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we had the Senate Banking Committee on Stablecoins. And boy, was this the Hegelian dialectic played to perfection, guys. Now, we know stable coins are used by the Fed to pump this whole crypto market. But all of a sudden, stable coins are the enemy. And we know when it becomes the enemy, we know they're about to flip that switch to put all products in stable coins. Because that's the biggest thing, guys. Once all products are in stable coins, we don't have to worry about fiat. But we know they have to keep working it, guys. Keep working it. We know problem, reaction, solution. They've already created the problem. There's too many fiat dollars out there. We know this. The dollar is destroyed. The stable coin is the only solution, whether it's private or whether it's a CBDC that's coming from the actual government. It's the only solution, guys. We know this. But we also know banks do what? They make money off of fees. And I talk about all the time. And it's the same thing with crypto. They're going to make the money off of fees. It's no difference, guys. It's the same game, but this time they'll be able to tax the globe. Banking the unbanked, taxing the unbanked. And you're talking about billions of people because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Include, as you know, Tether, Circle, and Abracadabra, a fast-growing scheme that makes magic internet money. That's their words, not mine. What could possibly go wrong with something that claims to make magic money?
Ecosystem. And I agree with the Presidential Working Group's assessment that stablecoins are used today for speculation. Stablecoins essentially act as a way station in between other speculative trades and as a way to avoid losses. Stablecoins are often heralded for their potential. Maybe they're not used widely today to pay for goods and services, but they could be in the future. But the reality is that today, U.S. retail investors access stablecoins by trading them, not by using them to buy groceries at the corner store.
On these, because there's a lot of material to cover, of course. Stablecoins are mostly used for speculative betting. Some crypto advocates argue they have the potential to make the payment system faster and more efficient. Are they a better way to settle payments nationally or internationally than traditional finance system?
Senator, thank you for the question. I think for that to be true, you need four things. You need low fees, you need predictability, you need to be able to exchange them for goods and services, and it needs to be consistently fast. And I don't think stablecoins meet all of those needed objectives. As someone who's played around with sending them, both personally and sort of in my work, it often makes Western Union look cheap when you rack up all of the fees that you need in order to send it from one person to another, especially when the ethereum blockchain gets congested. It can be very unpredictable. Fees can be very high. And I think, as you know, Senator, people with low incomes can't afford surprises. And unfortunately, transferring assets, especially on the dominant ethereum blockchain, can be full of a lot of surprises and very high fees. It has to do with whether or not you are going to use the USDC coin to purchase other crypto? Are you going to keep it in this closed crypto ecosystem and just use it to buy something else? My point is, if you're using it for remittances, if you're sending it to another country, chances are you can't go to your local grocery store and use USDC to buy some milk. You're going to need to convert it to your local currency. There's also a fee when, say, I want to send something overseas. I need to send it to somebody else's wallet. To do that, the USDC coin, it runs on lots of blockchains, but the predominant blockchain is the Ethereum one. There's an ERC20 token standard that they use to do that. The Ethereum network fees are incredibly high. It can cost $10, it can cost $20. I've seen it as high as $40 just to send it from my wallet to somebody else's wallet. And then once it gets to their wallet, if they're not going to use USDC to buy milk from the local grocery store, they need to convert it to the local currency. That involves putting it on an exchange. There may be a fee to trade it back to their local currency, and then they need to get it into their bank so they can pay for the milk at the grocery store, and that may also include a fee. So it has to do with, do you need to bring it back to fiat, or can you keep it within this closed crypto ecosystem? I think that's where you see the disparity.
Thank you. The opportunity, Senator. The quick version of this is early blockchains are a little bit akin to dial-up internet. And the argument to ban the stablecoin innovation because the current experience on certain early blockchains may be a little slower, a little cost prohibitive, ignores the fact that the innovation isn't standing still. There are late generation blockchains, third generation blockchains that are approaching transaction throughput akin to major credit card networks and approaching cost structures on pennies on the dollar for value transfer. Thank you.
I think when you stay within the cryptocurrency ecosystem, it does meet the speed requirement. I don't think it meets the predictability requirement, and I don't think it meets the exchanging it for goods and services requirement broadly.
Very quickly, because my time is slim, what kind of fees are we talking about compared to what we see in the industry today?
It depends on the exchange. It depends if you're moving back to fiat. But let's say you start at fiat, you move into stable coins, you buy one by buying one on an exchange, right? Because as Mr. Disparte said, they don't service retail customers. You got to go to an exchange. You send it to someone else. They put it on an exchange. You bring it back to fiat. It can be as high as $80 front to back, or as low as $6. Western Union's about $4 or $5.
Okay, and what kind of amount? That's a flat fee, regardless of how much money?
It's an accumulation of fees because you have to take several steps throughout the whole
Thank
ecosystem.
you very much. Thank you.
Own $10 worth of Tether or USDC. If I want to trade my $10 worth of these tokens, am I guaranteed to get $10 back?
No, Senator. You're sort of dependent on the exchange where you're trading it. Because as a U.S. retail customer, I cannot go to Circle and say, please redeem my USDC. And Tether explicitly says no U.S. customer can redeem Tether. So I have to trade it on an exchange. Sometimes it fluctuates. Sometimes it's a little above $1. Sometimes it's a little below. But if there were a run, the peg could collapse. And we also don't really know necessarily what's backing all of these stablecoins, right? Tether is...
Hold on a sec. I want to get into that, okay? I promise. Because I want to just underscore this point. That if Tether's tokens were actually backed 1-to-1, it would be one of the 50 largest banks in the country. But we know that it is not. And that's because, according to Tether's own report, only about 10% of the assets backing its stablecoin are real dollars in the bank.
For stablecoin argue that they provide access for small businesses and unbanked people. What do you think about that argument, and how exactly does stablecoin work for someone who doesn't have a checking or a savings account?
If I may briefly, and then give Professor Allen a chance to respond. Again, because stablecoins aren't widely accepted for goods and services, you need a bank. And not only do you need a bank, you need an account at a cryptocurrency exchange in order to buy stablecoins in the first place, at least the top two ones. And so I think this is why we saw the World Economic Forum find that there are not many financial inclusion benefits to stablecoins, because it's essentially using the rails of the existing banking system. So until, and if, I think it's a big if, we see mass adoption of stablecoins as a way to accept things at the grocery store to buy your groceries, I don't really see how this helps the unbanked, because you need a bank and you need a cryptocurrency exchange.
Yeah, okay.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come, Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.